got Billy. Robinson picks him over. And moves it beautiful. 2, 3. He got it. What a great move. Billy Robinson. 22:04. Super move by Billy Robinson. Ellering tried to kick out the way he had in the first couple of minutes of the bout. Robinson hooked his legs up, got in for a 1-2-3, and 22:04. The challenge of Paul Ellering comes to an end by a great win by Billy Robinson.
Yeah, I still get the chills, man, looking at that son of a guy. You know, you take a guy like Robinson, and that is the reason why he's the world heavyweight champion. There's no question about it. Ellering, with all the things that you can say negative about him or anything you want to say, the guy is so tremendously strong. He's in such great shape that in Billy, I took Billy to the airport after, and as I told you earlier, we were talking on the thing, and Billy said there were a couple of instances where he thought he had the opportunity on it, but Ellering was just so strong, and he'd weakened the leg to where he couldn't take advantage of the thing. And what he did was he used what he had, and that was that cunning and that ability and that wile in there, and that move he put to get those shoulders down was just unbelievable. And I just got to tell you that when you stop and think how young Ellering is and how relatively limited experience as a professional wrestler and how far he's gone in there, there's no doubt about it. Boy, well, what can I say? I thought it was a super match, and we had to share it with everybody on Championship Wrestling. And that's all of it. We got a bunch. Stay around. We're going to be back with more wrestling action coming up in just a moment. Hi, we're going to be back in the ring in a moment. We've got so doggone much to talk about the Gardens next Tuesday night, but I do want to remind you folks tonight in Greensburg, Kentucky, Handsome Jimmy's going to be there. Carl Fergie will be there. Sonny King, Paul Ellering. Thursday night, July the 31st, Cannelton, Indiana. The Superstar will be there. El Mongol will be there. Dr. Bill Irwin, Killer Carl Krupp, and it should be big nights in both of those towns. You be sure and be there. That's Greensburg tonight. All right, how about Tuesday night? Now, quickly, I want to tell you there will be a double elimination tag match in which there will be a total of 6 teams. Killer Carl Krupp, Dr. Bill Irwin, the Manchurians with Sputnik Monroe, El Mongol and Sonny King, Handsome Jimmy and Carl Fergie, Ken Lucas and Rick Morton, Tojo Yamamoto and Eddie Gilbert. All of them in this tournament that will determine who will get the Southern Division shot at the CWA World Tag Title. Now, we'll tell you about the rest of the card in just a moment. I want to talk to Ken Lucas and Rick Morton about that. The Southern Heavyweight or Southern Tag Team Champions. And here's a shot, Ken, that if you can survive it, and how does it work? I understand double elimination, but how's it going to work?
Well, the teams keep going in the ring, Lance, until a man is eliminated twice. And he's got to lose twice, and then he leaves. And it's going to be a very hard tag team, and there's a lot of good competition in this tag team, and everybody be going out to get that world title chance, you know. But I feel that myself and Ricky, not bragging, we stay in very good shape, and we do a lot of, what you'd say, loose exercise and everything to keep ourselves limber and fast, and I think that's going to pay off in this tournament.
Well, it's one of those things, Rick. I would think that conditioning has got to have a lot to do with it, because as I understand it, you just keep going, right? It's one continuous piece of action until there's only one team that hadn't been eliminated twice.
Yeah, that's right, Lance. You get as much as 9 matches out of it. But I like to say, me and Ken, we're going to give it our best shot when we get in there.
We'll be looking forward to Rick Morton and Ken Lucas, 2 of the gentlemen will be in that big tag match. You be there Tuesday night, the Gardens. Don't miss it. Okay, right now we want to take the opportunity to bring in here for just a moment. You saw the World Heavyweight title between Paul Ellering challenging Billy Robinson, the World Heavyweight champ. An event, I think, of note is the fact, and obviously you're looking at the big muscle man. Paul Ellering has what he has been looking for, and that is a return Southern Heavyweight shot. He with manager Jimmy Hart out here. And Paul and Jimmy, I wanted to get you out here. I will get all the comments that you have to say. I know that it was an unusual event, and I'll get all the things that you have to say about this return Southern Heavyweight title match. But first, if you will, just stand here and listen with me to the comments of superstar Bill Dundee, who is the champion, the Southern Heavyweight champ. Bill had these comments to make regarding the Southern Heavyweight title match coming up with Paul Ellering.
Bill, the title match has been signed. I know all the requirements must met with your satisfaction because you signed the contract. I know that you wanted Ellering to put his hair on the line. He didn't do this, and I'd just like to ask you what brought about the changes where you decided to give Ellering the title match.
Well, Ed, Paul Ellering's been going around town. He's been going all, every place he goes, he says, Bill Dundee's a 7-day wonder. He said, Bill Dundee couldn't beat me 2 times in a row and everything. And I guess he's saying it loud enough and long enough that people are starting to come up to me and say, Bill, are you scared of Ellering? Do you think you can beat him 2 times in a row? And I guess that's the reason I signed it, Ed. He's just going around saying that, you know, next time he wrestles me, he's going to beat me, and I just don't think he can.
Well, Bill, you know, Paul Ellering had the belt quite a while. He was a tough champion. In all of his press statements and press releases and his interviews, he made the statement that his face has never been busted open by a wrestler and that it's not going to happen. He's the tough and the men can't get to him. And we just want to ask you, how's your feeling on that?
Well, the facts speak for themselves. It's true, he hasn't. He's never had his eye busted. He's never had his nose broke. He hasn't had nothing like that happen to him. But just let me refresh your memory. I'll take you back a couple of years. There was a boxer by the name of Muhammad Ali. He used to go around saying, I'm the prettiest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. Nobody can mark my face. Nobody can do nothing. Then along came Ken Norton and broke his jaw. So I think the facts speak for themselves. If you get the right punch, it'll do the damage, brother. I'm going to try to do.
Well, Bill, when we got together and signed the contract, Ellering made a lot of brags, and we know that Ellering seemed like he's come to his heyday in the last few weeks. He gave Bill Robinson the toughest match I've seen Billy have since he was a champion. He made a lot of brags at the signing, and me, myself, I just hope they don't come true.
Well, that's true, Ed. I stood and I watched that match, and Paul Ellering did give Billy Robinson a tough match. Now, you can't take nothing off him, and Robinson's a great champion. But Paul Ellering, well, see, to win the championship match, there's one thing you got to do. You got to pin the guy in the mat. 1, 2, 3. When you're the champion, there's a lot of ways you can keep it. Now, all I can say to Paul Ellering is he's not going to take the belt.
Well, I hope that the honesty will rub off on the 2 gentlemen that I am standing here with. Dundee was honest enough to say, okay.
I'll be honest, Lance Muscle. I'll be honest, and I got some bad news for all my lady friends out there, Lance Russell. I've been in love, girls. I've been in love for a long time. Ask me how long, Lance Muscle.
How long, Paul?
Ever since I saw my reflection in my baby bathwater. You know, Lance Muscle, if I could find somebody who loves me as much as I love myself, I would marry that lady on the spot.
Yeah, well, that's very impressive, Paul. Very impressive. I think that you know that Bill Dundee is one of these guys who just doesn't give up. He beat you for the title. Now, however you want to look at it, Bill Dundee is the Southern Heavyweight champ, and he's man enough to come back and defend it against you.
You know what Bill Dundee did after he stole the belt? He went on a safari, Lance Russell. He went to Africa to beg a lion. And when he saw that lion, Lance Muscle, he begged and he begged and he begged for the lion to please go away. Look what I got here, Lance Russell. Look at this here. Look, fans, this is a Mr. Bill doll. That's right. That's what I got here. I got a Mr. Bill doll. What do you think of that, Lance Muscle?
Whatever you say, Paul.
Now, this little Bill doll, this Mr. Bill doll can talk. And do you know what he says? Let's ask Mr. Bill what he has to say to Mr. Paul. Let's ask Mr. Bill. Well, Mr. Bill, how do you feel since you've become the champion? Well, I feel real bad, Lance Russell. I feel real bad, Lance Russell, because I stole the belt. I stole the belt from Paul Ellering. There you got it, Lance Muscle, right from Mr. Bill's mouth. He stole the belt. Now, Mr. Bill, who is your hero?
Well, Mr. Paul, you're my hero. You're so big and I'm so small. I wish I was as big as you, Mr. Paul.
Mr. Bill, do you know what you're saying?
Oh, yes, I do, Mr. Paul. You're my hero. I love you. I wish I was just like you, Mr. Paul.
Well, Mr. Bill, do you know what I'm going to do to you in our wrestling match?
No, Mr. Paul, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. No, Mr. Paul, don't take my leg. No, no, no. No, Mr. Paul, no, my arm don't go that way. Don't twist my arm that way.
Look at Mr. Bill now. He don't have an arm and he don't have a leg. What do you say now, Mr. Bill?
No.